all top-notch, and the mirrors nicely slivered. But she must have had that one recalibrated quite recently. I wouldn't mind betting it's one of the best sighting pieces on any ship anywhere in the congregation. Pity she couldn't think of anything pleasant to do with it, except butchering. She did have her character flaws, I said, smiling so that she understood that my understatement was most certainly ironic. But at least she had excellent taste in equipment. Until recently, our ship had belonged to a woman called Bosa Sennen. Bosa had called her ship Dame Scarlet, but among her enemies it had long earned a second, nearly official designation, the Nightjammer. It was by way of allusion to both its favoured haunts in the darkness beyond the worlds and the blackness of its hulls and sails. Bosa employed it to hunt down other crews, stealing their prizes and murdering their crews, save the very few that she took for her own purposes. She had done this for much longer than an ordinary lifetime, because Bosa Sennen was as much an idea as a person, an idea that could attach itself to an individual, to use or be used by that individual before moving on to someone else. Less than a year ago, Bosa had made the first of two serious errors. She had stalked and taken a ship, the Monetta's Morn, on which my sister and I were serving, our first time away from Mazaral and our first experience on any such ship. Our Fura had escaped, but I had not, and Bosa only decided to use me rather than kill me because of my skill with bones. So she had taken me aboard the Nightjammer and started turning me to her ways, using psychological, chemical, and electrical methods of torture, coercion, and personality adjustment. Months later, she had made her second error. She had gone after another crew and tried to take them, not knowing it was a trap put together by Arafura. My sister's plan had been ruthless and clever. She had saved me and captured Bosa, and between us and her crew, we had gained control of the Nightjammer, making it ours. A new ship needed a new name, and so we gave it one. Revenger. It had been ours for 3 months, 3 long months, which took us from 1 year into the next. And because the old year had been 1799 and the new one was 1800, 1800 years since the documented founding of the 13th occupation, it was a new year as bright and shiny as a hatpin, and felt like the propitious time to be starting a fresh enterprise. We were going to make something of ourselves, not as butchers or pirates, but as honest privateers, those who wanted to remain in this life at least, rather than going back to our homeworlds. Exactly who wanted what was yet undecided, and not much spoken of. But whatever our decisions, collective or personal, there was no possibility of just waltzing back into the busy commerce of the congregation. We would be shot to splinters at the first glimpse. The problem was, we knew what we were, and what our new ship had become. But the rest of civilization was not yet reliably acquainted with the facts. As far as the other ships and captains were concerned, and so far as the rich world's cartels and banking concerns behind the organised expeditions knew, Bosa Sennen was still alive and active. It would take more than just a helpful transmission from us to set things straight, especially as Bosa had a long record of just that sort of duplicity. So for 3 months, we'd had no choice but to skulk. In truth, the time was usefully spent. First we had to learn how to operate Revenger, and that took weeks, plenty of them. We had to hook what was left of our old family tutor and mentor into the nerves of the ship. Paladin's robot mind gradually taking control of the navigation, sail gear, and weapons. Then we had to keep up our basic stocks of consumable materials, including fuel, and that meant cracking a few easy baubles, going into them, and scooping out such treasures as remained unplundered. We had done so, and proven that we could operate the ship and function as a crew, but still, every time we took the launch back from the surface of a bauble, we were reminded what our ship looked like from the outside. A predator. A black-hulled, black-sailed monstrosity, cruel in her lines, and entirely incapable of being mistaken for anything but the Nightjammer. We meant to change her disposition, but that would take time, and for now we dared not be too hasty about it. If someone did chance upon us, even in these dark, distant orbits,